Hey warriors, we've got a great creativity session for you today. We're gonna start with a writing prompt, work through a little creativity boosting yoga flow, and then we're gonna create. So whenever you're ready, hop on your mat and let's fight for your creativity. Today's prompt is, the sun was already dying when I was born. I grew up knowing that in my lifetime we would. Hey warriors, in today's rut busting yoga flow, we're gonna start standing. We're gonna be on our feet most of the time today. So if you have a mat, great. If you don't, no big deal. Just make sure you have a nice even surface to practice on. So if you'd like, I'm gonna start facing you. You can start at the top of your mat. We're just gonna start kind of moving, stretching, inviting some movement and energy into the body, especially if we haven't been moving yet today. If you are just getting up or if you've been at a desk all day, just start to invite some strength, stability, and movement into the body. And we're gonna do that by starting in mountain pose. Just a really strong stance. So we're gonna press all four corners of the feet into the mat. Feet are hip width apart, or they can be all the way together. I just find there's a little more stability when they are hip distance apart. The toes are pointing forward. Belly button pulled back toward the spine to engage the core. Shoulders down away from the ears, shoulder blades pulling together down the back. Head up, chin up, chin up. You can almost imagine you have a string at the top of your head that someone is pulling to really get some length in the spine and through the neck. So we're just gonna stand here and just maybe try to focus on the energy that you might already be feeling simply by standing in this almost powerful pose. It's a lot different than how we stand normally, kind of relaxed, maybe with a hip out. But this pose just feels more powerful, more present, more conscious. So start coming into the breath from here. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. This is just a great way to really cultivate some presence if you've been running around all day, focused on a lot of different things. You might notice I start a fair number of my practices here in this pose just breathing, because it's a great way to kind of just stop the barrage of thoughts and activity and everything that might be just hitting us all day long. And if you're ever feeling overwhelmed throughout the day, even if you can't practice yoga, this is a great thing to do. Just stop what you're doing, stand in this really powerful, mindful pose, and just breathe. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. Now maybe we'll just start to invite some movement into the body. Just kind of start to shake whatever movement feels good to you, whatever you need at the moment, depending on what you've been doing throughout the day. If you've already been moving, you might feel okay. If you're feeling really stiff, just starting to kind of rock back and forth like this might feel good. It might feel good to kind of just stretch the arm to one side and then the other, almost moving the arms straight back and forth, actually hugging yourself here. A great way to open the shoulders. And just opening, crossing the other arm on top. So whatever some good movement feels like to you here. We are gonna fold in just a minute, so we don't need to do that quite yet. This is a great way to kind of stretch that side body and down into the lower back. So you can just press the left foot into the mat and then start to slide the right hand down the leg and the right side of the body, bending at the waist, feeling a nice stretch through that side body. And back to center, and the other side, pressing the right foot into the earth for a nice counterbalance. All the while we're almost still in this mountain pose. There's just different parts of our body that are moving. So obviously our head isn't over our heart here, but we are still pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat. Our stomach, our core is engaged. We're pulling that belly button back toward the spine. So no matter what we're doing, we're still strong and conscious and aware of our bodies and how we're standing and moving. So I'm gonna come to the top of the mat now. If you're already there, great. We're just gonna reestablish that mountain pose. We're gonna veer from our traditional forward fold at first. We will start moving through mountain in just a second, or sun salutations, half sun salutations in a second. But first I'd like to invite you to bring your hands behind you. Maybe clasp your hands together behind the back and then straighten them as much as you can. Maybe even lock the elbows. We typically discourage locking things. But for just a second to really distance your hands from the rest of your body, and then you can unlock them and let them stay just a little bit bent. And then we're just gonna start to pull the hands away from the body. We're almost gonna pull the pelvis forward, because I think the inclination here is to start to pull the butt back with the hands. But just for a second, we're gonna invite an opposite stretch here. So pull the pelvis forward a little bit and the arms back. And then we're gonna bend the knees slightly and just start to forward fold with the arms behind us. Bending at the waist, leading with the chest and the chin, letting the wrists come up, and then they might slowly start to fall forward, and just letting them fall wherever they go. And your palms might not be pressed together, and that's okay. Just allowing a little space there. And then folding here, the knees can stay super bent, or you can start to straighten them again, depending on how much movement you've already had throughout the day. You feel all the blood start to rush to your head, and that's good. And then we'll just bend the knees again to come up. And as we're coming up, maybe release those hands. Let them sway a little. That might have been a lot if you don't normally open the chest and the arms like that. And now we're just gonna start to move through our traditional half sun salutation. We'll reach to the sky and exhale, bring the hands down through center into our forward fold. This might feel a little different than with our hands behind the mat. It might feel almost like a relief. Your knees can be super bent here. Pulling the tailbone up toward the sky can help straighten the back, keeping the shoulder blades back away from the ears. Again, so we don't have too much rounding in the back. It might happen, and that's fine. We're just hanging. And inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. And inhale, bending the knees to come up. You might crack a lot. And exhale, hands through center, back into our mountain pose. And we'll keep that going. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half flat back, hands either to shins or thighs, whatever that feels best to you. Creating a 7 shape with the body. And then we're gonna exhale and drop the hands to the mat on either side of the feet. And then we're gonna step, keep that right foot planted, And step that left foot back toward the back of the mat as far as you can go. Plant the hands for stability, pressing into all 10 fingers, coming into a runner's lunge. So that right knee is bent over that right angle. So there's a 90-degree angle in the right shin and knee. And we'll just pause here for just a second, either fingertips on the ground or hands can be planted. You can bring that left knee down for stability if you need. If you'd like to inhale, maybe bring the hands up off the mat for just a second, keeping that left back leg engaged. Whatever feels good to you right here. And then eventually, we're gonna take the hands and walk them towards center. So we're gonna start to just have a little walk here toward the center of our mat. We're gonna turn our toes so they're facing the long side of the mat, eventually coming into a wide-legged fold here. Our hands are now kind of under our shoulders and our back is kind of in that half flat back position. And then you just release, letting the chest fall toward the mat, leading with the chin. The knees be slightly bent, not locking the knees. And just fold. So whatever this looks like to you, whether your hands are on the mat, your hands will probably be on the mat, but if they're not, if they don't reach the mat, you can grab your legs, anywhere on your legs that is comfortable. And we're gonna place that left hand under the nose. And we're gonna lift that right arm up toward the sky, reaching, opening through the chest, twisting at the waist. And then exhale, let that hand drop and replace that left hand with the right under the nose, lifting the left arm up, twisting at the waist toward the left side of the mat. And we're just gonna flow. So exhale to fold and replace the hand, and inhale to reach that hand up, twisting at the waist. Exhale, fold. Inhale, twist. Exhale, fold. Inhale, twist, moving with your own breath at your own pace. Just even it out wherever you are. So I'll finish with the left side here. Inhale to twist. And exhale back to center. You can spend a little time here in our fold if you'd like. You can just release everything, kind of drop the hands to the mat. Keep pulling that tailbone up toward the sky, pressing into the outside edges of the feet. You can bring your feet a little closer together if you need. Letting the hands fall wherever you feel the most supported. You can always bring them to the waist, up to that half flat back, and just kind of hover here if that feels good. And then eventually, if you'd like, to just slowly start to lower, leading with the chin and the chest. And some people can bring their heads to the mat, some can't. I definitely cannot at the moment. Some people bring their hands, and in varying degrees, some people can get their forearms down. Just wherever you are, work from there. And then we're actually gonna walk our hands the other direction. So we're gonna complete the little walk that we started earlier. And we're gonna walk toward the back of the mat now. Now we're in runner's lunge, facing the back of the mat with the left leg at a 90-degree angle, left knee over left ankle. We're gonna be here very long. Just press that right heel toward the back of the mat. Maybe come up off the mat if you'd like. Lifting the hands, opening the heart and the chest. Dropping to center. You can always drop that back knee if you need a little more support. And then we'll inhale, maybe rock that back knee. And exhale, bringing the right foot up to meet the left, coming into a fold. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees to come up, reaching up, straightening, reaching up through the fingertips. Exhale, bring the hands down through center. And we're not going to pause too long. Just come in, maybe find your breath, take a second to let it even out if it's gotten a little erratic. And breathe and take this energy that we've just cultivated. Maybe your brain is buzzing now. Maybe your whole body feels like it's kind of buzzing. So let's use that energy to work on our creative projects. You can take the prompt and do whatever comes to mind. You can just work on something you're already working on. You don't have to shut off the video because we'll let some music play so you can stay in this creative space for about 25 minutes. So thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste, warriors. Now go fight for your creativity. Welcome to your creativity session. Don't worry about pausing or turning off the video. We'll play some music to keep your creativity flowing as you work. Challenge yourself to keep going until the video ends. You got this. And if you appreciate these videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today's prompt is, the sun was already dying when I was born. I grew up knowing that in my lifetime we would Time's up, warriors. Great job. I hope this rut-busting flow and creativity session was helpful. Remember, no matter how much or how little you created in this session, you still made the time and showed up. If you want to make these sessions a regular thing, make sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell to get notified whenever I have a new video. Have a wonderful day, warriors.